Hi everybody, welcome back to another Make It Monday video. This is Erin Lincoln, and today I'm going to show you what it's like to cut your stamps and use them in new and unique ways with other stamps. It just adds some versatility to your supplies without really harming anything. Just a couple little snips. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll show you my card. Those are the original stamps, and that's the stamped image I used on my card, and you can see the O is a ladybug. But first things first, I have to do a little work here to get my elements going. I've seen a lot of people ask about these punch-out tools on the forum for the doily dies. This is the Parisian doily, which is the most intricate. And I thought I would go ahead, while I'm using it on my project, and from start to finish without any cuts, show you how this punch-out tool works. It's like a solid piece of, I think it might even be like a metal piece with an acrylic overlay on top. And it's almost like a jigsaw the way the die cut fits in, and then there's little nubs that correspond to where all the holes are in the doily. And you line it up and you use your finger and you just kind of rub and you force those little nubs through the holes, and it pops out those pieces of the die that they're essentially, I guess, the negative pieces because you don't want to use them. And I'll be honest with you, I find this very massaging on your fingertips. It feels really good, so I don't mind. There's a couple other doily dies and punch-out tools. They're not as intricate, so if you want to try it out and make one small investment before you go hog wild on the other ones, and you have the Parisian doily die, I recommend highly the punch-out tool for this die in particular. And there you go. Okay, we have a Beautiful Blooms 2 die that goes with the Beautiful Blooms 2 stamp set. It's one of the original stamp sets with the dies. Fell in love with it. Great basic. Must have, I think. And those dies make great headbands and barrettes out of felt. Very useful. Right, we're stamping it in Pure Poppy. There we go. Okay, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty here and cut some stamps. But first, we have to place our little ladybug in the middle of our flower to take the place of our O in the word U. When lining things up and centering things, multiple stamps in a row, always start with the very middle and work yourself out on either side, and it helps you keep the whole thing balanced and centered. As you know, you have that center point in the middle. Alright, Little Lady is the ladybug. It's an older stamp set. Has two-step stamping. First the little red wings and then the dots in the head. Super cute. That's what sold me on the stamp set originally. I bought this one. It was probably my first order back in 2007. Holy moly. Okay, now you see I have that polka dot Y and U, and that can be found in the All About You stamp set. And that stamp is one piece. I'm going to take my scissors to it and go ahead and cut. It has nice big channels in between the actual stamped portions, and that's a good sign that this technique would work well. The stamp is a good candidate. And just go ahead and cut through it. Cuts like butter. The only downfall is now you have 3 stamp sets. 3 stamps to keep track of instead of just one. And so without masking, I am able to easily achieve that ladybug U. That's True Black ink. And there you go. Here comes my Y. Now this card has a funny story because I was making these cards for my daughter's thank you notes for her birthday the morning before I went to the doctor's, which sent me to the hospital to have my last baby. And 11 weeks later, we're now getting around to this. So this was my very last project. I'll always remember it. Hours before having my baby, I was doing this. And the antenna for the ladybug I forgot right there. Okay, now I'm going to just show you how this U stamp that we just cut up can be used as it was originally intended, even though it is now in 3 pieces. I didn't take anything away from the base, so it fits together like a jigsaw. Just a little puzzle, lines up perfectly, and it's on the block. And check this out. It's like I never cut it. The performance is the same. So don't be afraid to cut your stamps. I've been doing it more and more lately. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just sick of trying to find workarounds. Like if I have an idea, I'm going to do it, and if it requires cutting a stamp, I'm going to cut a stamp. All right, here's a couple examples where this probably won't work. The type is just too close together on this stamp. You wouldn't be able to get a pair of scissors between it without ruining the image. And on this one, Happy Valentine's Day, I find that script fonts versus non-script fonts, they make it more difficult because they have these curves and scrollies, and they're up closer to the other type, so it's hard to cut them, and I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, here is an example of when I wouldn't cut and I wouldn't mask. I just happened to have this extra tip built into this card, and it's called selective inking, and there was actually a Make It Monday video about it. It was one of the first videos. And you just ink up the part of the stamp you want, and don't put ink on the part of the stamp you don't want. I don't have to cut it, I don't have to mask it. It's on very stamp by stamp basis. There you go, I just have to think. That was really easy. It's called selective inking. If you haven't seen the video, we can point it out to you, just ask. Okay, this is Pure Poppy gingham paper. And I just wanted to show you how I cut it down from a regular A2 card base to accommodate those leaves. That white piece of paper there is an A2 size. I just wanted to show you there's maybe a ½ inch cut off. Alright, this is the Parisian doily die we punched out earlier. Just getting it positioned. Go ahead and glue it down. And I'm going to show you a little something. And it just might be my analness coming through. See how I'm making sure where it hits on the top and on the bottom, it's the same. It's like that little 4 points, 4 square. You know, I'm not really sure it matters. It might just be in my head, but it also might be one of those things that you maybe notice subconsciously, and together when the card is made, it just has a more pleasing composition. You might not notice, you might not be able to put words to it, but it all works. There you go. We're going to get our strip down. This is a photo finisher die. Use these a ton. Glue that down. And trim off the edges again. These are Sending You leaves, the Sending You die collection, and Simply Chartreuse, and also some pattern paper and Simply Chartreuse. I think that's the Vine pattern. I'm not sure the exact name. We're just going to trim the photo finisher strip off so it's easier to see the placement of those leaves. Get all the clutter out of the way. Go ahead and glue those on. And here is our flower that we stamped previously with the ladybug. Gonna go ahead and put some dimensional adhesive on it. And we could put this flower right next to the thank you, or we could center it in the middle of that Parisian doily die where that circle is. And visually that just makes a little more sense. You might not notice it, but all together it adds up to a pleasing composition. Just be aware of laying things on top of other things and where in position to everything else it is. There is our original card and the one we just made. The one I made originally was not nicely stamped, not reaching through a camera. And as you can see, those leaves fit inside an A2 envelope. That's just a little demonstration. We compensated well enough. Okay, here is our card. Go ahead and get cutting on those stamps. Don't be afraid, and can't wait to see your creations. All right, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.